children. These things are called ways of escaping from life. The only way for people not to worry about escape is to keep looking forward.
I've been living in the city for 8 years. And even now, I still feel like I don't belong here. And don't know where my future is.
Putting the uniform on as a paramedic, it's almost like having a second version of myself.
You have a chance to get out there in the community and save people.
Emergency services.
Hurry, stop breathing.
He's unconscious.
Okay, an ambulance is being sent.
Every second counts, and every second that we don't get there is another second that that patient gets closer to death.
Hello and welcome to your first edition of That Pacific Sports Show for 2022. That Pacific Sports Show is the only TV program in the world that's dedicated to bringing you the most amazing sports and sports people from around the Pacific.
views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the original authors and their contributors. These views and opinions do not in any way represent those of MyTV, MyTV staff, and or any contributors to MyTV.
A family is an epitome of God's love towards mankind. God designed us to live in families, and the Bible reveals that family relationships are important to Him.
But as a believer, do you feel that you are still struggling?
Maybe you still have a relationship,
Struggling with your finances?
struggling at work,
With your social life?
or with your spiritual life.
We invite you to join us
On our Family Table Talk every Saturday,
at 7:30 a.m. on MyTV.
or catch us on our Facebook page.
Bulawinaka, welcome to the Family Table Talk.
Saturday morning.
Every Saturday, yeah. It's been a blessing for the week. Well, out here in Silver, it's beautiful. Beautiful morning, beautiful sunshine, and fresh air. It's just another week gone. It's so fast that we are now on the 20th of January. Or, like we only have about 11 days left for the month, and we are already into the year 2020-24. So we would like to greet you and say thank you for being part of this program. And not forgetting all the Fijians or Itoke that are outside Fiji, in any other foreign land that you may be, all over the world. We would like to say Mbulabinaka. And maybe because of your time difference, some of you are in your nights, in your afternoon, but yet you're tuning in to our morning back here in Fiji. We would like to say Mbulabinaka and thank you for being part of this program.
Yeah. I take this time to say Mbulabinaka to those of you in the western side, and not forgetting the northern and the islands that you are tuning into this Saturday morning program. We take this time to say Mbulabinaka from the Aotearoa kitchen here in the My Television
in
here
Turaki.
in Suva. It's a blessing to serve you again, to host you this wonderful morning. Sunshine and a little bit humid already, sticky in the morning, and we know the pattern of the weather that we are going through right now. For those of you that are tuning in from overseas, we say Mbulabinaka, and those of you from around the hospital bed in our nation, we say Mbulabinaka to you, not forgetting those of you that are tuning in from your workplace, and not forgetting in the correctional services in Namboro or in Natambua, not forgetting in Korbo, Waturekuka in the northern. We say this time for Mbulabinaka to you, having connect to us through My Television. Those of you that are tuning in on Facebook, whether MyTV Facebook or New Methodist Christian Fellowship Facebook, we take this time to say Mbulabinaka to you. And I know, children, you have one more week to enjoy your school holidays before you go into the 29th or 30th, the 30th of January to go back to school. And it's another challenging year, and we are looking forward to a prosperous and beautiful overflow and year of plenty, 2024.
Well, how you're going to make out for the year, it starts from the beginning. So it really depends on your attitude from the beginning. If you say you're going to make it, you will make it. If you say you're going to enjoy it, you will enjoy it. So totally, up to you or to every individual, not only for school children going back, that goes for the grown-ups as well, for the adults that are working and that have families. Like sometimes it's just a gloomy, like everything, it doesn't work, and everything, like every time, there's always a negativity of things happening. And most of us, we don't realize that come the end of our lives, it's just like a roller coaster. Like you're trying to make ends meet, and it's like you don't have a life to live for yourself. You're living for others, and you're busy for others. And at the end of the year, like when you look back, what did I do? What did I achieve for the whole year, other than just being, a platform that everybody come and use my life to benefit their lives. But maybe this is a time for you to stand back and look within you and look at your previous years and say to yourself, if I failed for those years, maybe this year I'll make it work. And it really depends entirely on you. Maybe you this morning, oh, okay, it's so easy for them to say that, but you know, we believe because we serve God. I mean, we are Christians, and there are certain things in the physical eyes. You know, when you look, it doesn't work, or you know fully well in your heart it will not work, or you don't have it because you see that. But with that faith and with that belief, we always have something to fall back on, and we believe like through that supernatural power that can turn around things in our life to from negative to positive, from non-achievement and things that you always easily give up on. There is a possibility that you can achieve certain things in your life. It really depends entirely on you. So maybe this is the time, because it's just the beginning of 2024. Don't rush it. Sit down and project your life. Don't wait for the momentum to come and then you think how to deal with it. Try and project your life for the year. So it may be too general to say for the whole year, because you're talking about 12 months. But try and take a quarter, do your quarterly plan, and shift it a little bit more realistically to monthly, and then for that monthly plan to to eventuate or to come to fruition, then you move it back to weekly, and then it becomes your daily, and then it becomes your hour, your minute, and your second. And like what about we are trying to say to you today, like you cannot just achieve it by saying, okay, you just swing a miracles, for you to say, okay, I'm going to make it up like what it is, and it's going to change. No, everything will change only because you decide to do something about it. So we will counsel, we will talk about a lot of things, but the decision to make it work and how huge you want it to work and fast you want it to work, that depends entirely on you. So we would like to, guide, like what we beginning of this year, we would like to work with you, guide you throughout the year. Not like towards the end of the year, then you like, what happened? Why didn't I remember that? So we will as much as possible to note down the things that we have been saying from the beginning, and so you can achieve it. So we will be the voice to remind you. If you're talking about the savings, then we will be the one to remind you, okay, have you saved something this week? What have you put aside? So our continuous reminders will also help you that if you have slip up or drop for the week, you can always pick it up still along the year. So come end of the year, you can achieve it, not maybe to the amount or to the level that you want, but at least you achieve something, and you're so grateful, you're satisfied that you managed to do that.
Yeah. For those of you that are watching this program, we are only here to share our experience and guide you, but this isn't normally depends on the individual. There are so many things that we talk about. Oh, year 2023 and before the previous years, 2023, and that decision, the choice is ours, individual.
Yeah.
So this year, it's another year that we have to start well, and from time to time we check our position, we recheck what we have done, what we have, whether we come up with a planning or we are way down there, out of our planning from the beginning, and that's why it's very important to be reminded all the time. To be reminded all the time.
I think it's a good time for you to look back, just to look back the year and pick up the place or the areas of your life that you didn't really do well.
Yeah.
And you say to yourself, you're going to correct that. Because it's just for start. For start, you need just to correct that. If you know that you haven't been, a very good mom, or your role at home, or even attending church, or being part of the community that you live in, or being part of the extended family that you're part of, little things. You can just correct, like by looking and say, okay, I can better that, I can better my attitude. I can better, because I believe in everything that you achieve really depends entirely on your attitude. If you say that you're not going to get it or make it, then you've already given up. But if you say you will, there's a possibility, because no matter how hard it is, you say to yourself,
Yeah, it's something that we sit back and reflect on ourselves.
Yeah.
Say, for example, your health. If we talk about our health, with the exercise, What about your diet? Are you maintaining the diet that
Given
gives
by the
us,
doctor?
given by the doctors, or the diet that we generally know, the vegetables, the grains, all these things. What about your exercise in what about your time with your family? The quality time for us that we are devotion. Do we have enough time for devotion, or do we have once a day in a week, or twice, or 3 times, or even none at all? The things that you just sit back and reflect on yourself. What about your time with your spouse, your husband, your wife? Do you have a quality time, the time that you sit together and talk? You know, most of us that we work, most of us we are connected to community or to churches. Just look through your 24 hours and the time that you spend, and then you look at in the 7 days in a week that you can correct. Just because you look back and see where you can improve, because most of us, or all of us, we need to improve as we start a year. And when you start with that, then you can look back and say, oh, last year I did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, or I did nothing of this and more of this. And it's just self-reflection, and I believe it will help you. Right? What about your spending? Are you spending too much time on this, that? What about your saving? What about the bills, where you can cut off water bill, electricity bill, or mobile bill, all these things? Because what about your fuel? Because all these things you must have, because if you don't have it, it's a day-to-day requirement. And these are the things that chew into our saving and chew into our finance. And sometimes we a lot just by looking at your day-to-day weekly expenses, and then you can reduce your cut, the wasting of electricity, water, the telephone bills, and all these things that you can look into. You can't save on your rent or your payments for your mortgage. No, those things, it's a must, and there's a standard level that you must pay. But there are other things that you can cut down on. What about the food, the spending? What about the eating out? All these things that you can do. What about your life? What about your social life with your children, with your wife, husband? All these things that you can improve on. What about your commitment to your church? For those of us that belong to church, are you going in whenever you want to go in, or are you committed? Are you a faithful husband, a faithful wife? Are you doing your best to keep your relationship in God? All those things, when you look back, then you have a guideline to improve from last year to 2023. Because if you don't have a guideline from last year, and you don't know where to improve.
I think it's great if you sit together as a couple and talk about these things. You know, like, because I believe a lot of couples they don't really talk about it. Some not only they talk about it, it's like only one of you is doing it, it's either the husband or the wife, and we sit down together as husband and wife, and then you want to dabe patikina, gaireda na dareda bata, and then you discuss what is your earning and what is the other earning, and how are we spending, you know, that earning for the time being. How are we handling all those finances? And for those finances, or for your pay coming in or bringing into the family, how is that spent? So when you note down the earning or the money that comes in, either between the two of you, or you have grown-up children that are still living with you, but yet they're earning and they're eating from the same kitchen, they are all, you know, sharing the bills. And then you write down your expenses. What are the mortgage? If you're still paying for your house, your car, what is your, your standard grocery bill, and how often do you do it? Is it weekly, fortnightly, or monthly? And what about your electricity bill, water bill? Like what he mentioned, that the bills, they don't retire. I like what FNPF, the billboard down in Milverton Road, it says, bills don't retire. As we retire,
but the bills
we retire,
don't
the bills continue. You still have to pay for your house. You
That's
still
a
have to
good
pay
one.
for. Yeah, I like that. I always like that phrase. On the billboard for FNPR, because the bills don't retire. And so when you write down all those bills, and then all of you, or between the two of you, that every month these are the bills that you cannot avoid. The bills that must go, which is the mortgage, which is most of you, it's a direct deduction, from your bank account. And the money that you're getting is exactly the money that is going to be free, for you to use. So with that budget, and you look back, like what I said, for me, every spend that I do, I use it's like a personal payment voucher. Like for the company that I work in, it has that. In every spend that we do, it has to be approved, it has to be justified, verified, and then we also do it for the church that we belong to. And personally, I design a form that says personal payment voucher, and I do it for myself. Because for me, like at the end of the month, I'll get this file, and I look through, and it's just, I'm talking to myself, and I said, okay, there's too much of that, too much of that, too much of that, too much of that. And not only just in the file for the vouchers, I note it down in the book. And it helps me to, like at the back of my mind, I said, no, I overspend when it comes to that. I did. So I try and cut down just to help. I'm talking to myself, and I'm helping myself. So when you look back, don't just keep on continuing living like every month or every week or every fortnight like it's normal. No, you reflect, because whatever that you look, when you look back, you will know there are certain things that you can still go without, or you can save. And every dollar count, that 10 cents add up to be $1, and that dollar add up to be $10, and that $10 add up to be 100, and that 100 adds up to be 1,000, and that 1,000, and it adds up to be thousands. So don't look at that $1 and you say, okay, it's just a dollar. No, that dollar, if you look after that dollar, if you save $1 from everything that you're doing, at the end of that week, you'll be surprised. You may have managed to save about $10 or $20 just by cutting down on certain things that you can cut down. And don't just cut down and having that money sitting there for you to be, free to use it. No, you plan it. So now in the beginning of the year, with all the bills that are still going, I call it the maintenance. I call those bills maintenance, because it maintains you to live. Your home you need to pay so you can have a roof above your head. The grocery shopping you do, you buy because you need to eat food. The electricity bills you pay, the water bills. All those bills, I call them as maintenance, which means whether you like it or not, you need to pay to maintain your lifestyle or to maintain you. So it can be, highfalutin, like you have a big home, or you can be a very tiny, small home. It can be just a studio with one bedroom together combined with the kitchen, dining, and whatever it is. It's, like you need to pay to maintain you, or to hold you, or to feed you. Can be your basic needs. So when you know about these bills, most of us, if you look back, like in the 5 or 10 years you've been working, maybe 3 years for those of you who have just started, or maybe just a year for some of you. When you look back, you haven't managed to save, you haven't managed to buy a property, you haven't managed to buy a car. So all your pay was just maintenance. All the money that you've been getting was just to maintain you, to pay for the roof above your head, to pay for your electricity bill, and also your water bills. So whatever money you've been earning is just to sustain you to be today, to be who you are today. And maybe you buy your clothes or buy other things or little things around you. If you belong to that category until today, maybe this year you sit down and really look at your expenses. You cannot just be working to maintain you. You need to work to project what else you can get, which means you need to reduce all these expenses. Reduce them in a way, which means, the way that you use your water or the electricity bill, you tell yourself, okay, by 8 o'clock, buy a small lampshade, battery operated by your bed. By 8 o'clock, I must off all the lights. And when you off all the lights, you keep that light on just to give you direction where you're going to go to your washroom, or use the light from your phone when you're doing your work, if you need to. And there is a bedside, lights. Like there's a lot of economical or cheaper ways of getting all those things, but you're saving down on the electricity bill. So try and trial that. Say in a month, live like that, and then you see how much change it happens in your bill. If you see the change in your bill, that it drastically, it comes down to a certain amount that it wasn't like it's nearly double or 1/4 of that money that you save, then that is your advantage, which means it tells you, okay, for me to be able to get the electricity bill and that amount, then I will need to do all these things. So you just need to psych yourself up on how you need to do it and establish yourself and create your new lifestyle of living right, living in that certain momentum, so you are saving along the way. And also your water, how you use your water. If you have a washing machine, determine the day that you're going to be washing. I used to be very strict at home for our washing. Now I'm breaking my own rules. During the conference and during the youth, because I was home by myself and with my eldest grandson coming in from there daily, I was basically washing in every second day. Like, I hate the sight of just looking at the dirty clothes. But the normal for us, we have a schedule, like every Thursday is for the children. So the laundry baskets in their room, every Thursday, only once in a week it get washed. And for me, I don't wash until 2 or 3 weeks. So I fill up our laundry basket in our washroom. And on the 3rd week or a month, then I will clear our washing. But I don't wash daily, Yeah. And for me, that's saving water, because you're saving that surge of water and electricity too. And so those are the little things, like what I said, I used to do that. And for the uniform, because they wear whites, so what we do, we wash them on Friday. When we wash them on Friday in the afternoon, because they've come back wearing that last uniform, I try as much to give them 5 uniforms. And like for this year, I only bought 1 and 1 because it's carry forward of some uniform that are still good, still new. And so we wash, and what we do, we hang it up like a day 1 uniform, a day 1 uniform. So as they come and they use, come on Friday, we wash them all up, and then in the weekend iron them so it's ready. So the uniform are only washed once, and for the whole lot of the 5 days are washed. I'm saying this, I'll say, like, for those of you who can only, then that determines the day you wash, not daily. You wash the 2 and the 3, get them ready, and you tell them, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, then I'll wash. Then Wednesday you wash. When you wash the 3, then it goes again. So you only wash once or twice in a week. With all those things, those are saving water and saving electricity. So you try and save some money from all this, daily living. Yeah, unnecessary bills. And this money goes to your pool of savings. Like I always say, if you know that you're not a very good, strong saver, like you always break your own saving, then you need to find ways. I've always mentioned that. I know the bank don't like me saying it, because I always cut my card. I cut my card to be able to save. Because it discourages you from going to the ATM. When you have the card on you and you know the money that's in there, by all means, you will always be tempted to use. Either you go to the ATM machine, or you flank your card to the supermarkets or wherever you go, or to the shops to use your card. So whatever money that you can save from this, little change of your lifestyle, then you channel it to your saving. Because this saving, then for you to save from the beginning of this year, then say to yourself, I must get a car, or I must buy a farm, or I must buy a home. You need to project what to invest in or what to be able to achieve. Only then it will change the way you're living. If you never plan at any time to be able to buy a car, or to be able to buy a house, or to invest into something, or buy a farm, you will continue to live the way you live, because you don't feel responsible or accountable to say that I need to. Because you are enjoying this kind of life, because all your money is on you. All your money, like you give your money here, give your money here, buy whatever you want to buy, the latest shoes or the latest clothes, you buy all those things. But you should say to yourself, okay, if I have been doing that for the last 5 years, then maybe this time I will try and save and achieve something. And try and push yourself, at least buy yourself a car. And if you have a good salary and you know you can easily go to your bank and ask them the probability of getting a loan, then you go that way. And then if you're getting a loan and then goes your loan repayment, then your cuts from all this lifestyle, it helps with that loan payment. So on the other hand, in everything you need to tell yourself that you're working towards something, not just to maintain you, not just to keep the roof above your head, not just to pay for the bills, because these are ongoing. Even when you retire, the same bills still continue. So don't just work to maintain or to continue to pay these maintenance things in your life. You work projecting that you're going to achieve something more than just maintaining your life. Either you buy a farm, you buy a car, or buy something, invest on something, achieve something. And if you have been renting in a place and that place is fully furnished, like it's provided for, then buy your own stuff, buy your own fridge, buy your own freezer, your own TV screen. And it doesn't happen overnight, but you write down your list and see what you achieved today. After you buy it, and you say, I've got this. And maybe if you move into a flat that is not furnished and you already bought things that belongs to you, then it reduces your your rent, and you move into this place, and then you're moving in with the things that you own. So there are means and ways of saving. The only thing that we would like to drive you for this year, try and achieve something in a physical essence. Try and achieve a car or achieve a farm. Try and achieve something more than above just maintaining your life. Maybe you raise your hand and you say, okay, they don't know what I'm through. I'm paying maintenance for my children that I left. I'm paying maintenance, and I have bills. I have a personal loan that I'm still paying off. And that's another thing. The personal loan, the bank make it so easy for us to pick up the 2,000. I remember when I was working back in those years in the airline, it's like, apart from the credit union, everybody thought, hey, have you taken the personal loan? They're giving 2,000 out. You coming to the end of paying back the 2,000. You are tempted another one. So you can really break, like it becomes an addiction. Because you don't have to provide anything, no guarantee, no nothing. You just walk in and you get the cash.
It all comes to our discipline life.
Yeah.
It's attitude, our discipline life. See, when we talk about the expenses, we are talking about the things that we must have and things that we can reduce.
Yeah, the wants and the needs.
And then you go to our food. When you go to our food, most of the time, I admire, especially our Indian brothers, that they can eat the vegetables, curry vegetables, nearly every day. And for us, we can't do that, and we spending money on fish and how we spend the meat that we have. Sometimes it comes with wisdom, and the lifestyle that we were exposed to. Nambula sarang akin na ambula takamay, and doon din may manini senda wisota ka nambula kin da may bulakina, but sa weekend doon na ewan walk beka so na matawali ni tolwa na kana doon na ikaligo ni tolwa na kana yo ken sa mato ka weekend ya doon na kana musuka mando muswarwa muswatombe lele tuna sabas ya ke makandari the way that we live our lifestyle can contribute to our saving ya ke makakenda ini if we are not careful, then all these things goes into our food, all these things goes into our social things, social activities. We need to be wise in the way that we live our life, because the life that we live today will be passed on to the next generation. The social life that we are exposed to, and those social life carries a lot of expenses, overhead expenses, and sometimes those expenses start from saving. But we can go to Sotakadika, we can go to Sotakadika, we can go to Nakankituika, we can go to Sotakadika. So most of our finance goes into
I believe we get carried away with our social life that and then goes back to no planning. If you make up your mind from the beginning that this is what you want to do, then even though you are roped into this social life, you are convicted at the back of your mind, man, I'm way out. I'm way out. There is a small voice reminding you, I plan to do this, but I'm way out. At least you need to establish in your mind, in your heart from the beginning on what you want to do. And that's what we were talking about from the beginning. Don't just live your life anyhow and then you say to yourself, okay, what if, can I? No, don't. You establish that now. You decide that now. If you can't have that conversation with your partner or with your husband or with your wife, you do it for yourself. You say to yourself, I'm going to save this year. I'm going to achieve it this year. Because once you decide that and you register it in your heart and in your mind, wherever you go, and if you are spending or if you are, like what you said, the life, because it can be so demanding and draining, and you are because you've already made up your mind and established in your heart that you want to do this. So you need to establish that from the beginning, because without that, then you will not be able to do anything more than just maintaining your life, like the insurance bills I call them, and socializing, because the money will just go other. And sometimes you give up on this maintenance because you want to meet up that social life, and that's why you are driven to go to money lenders, because the money salary it's not enough to support or facilitate the lifestyle that you are living, and that is the reason why you keep on. And once you try the money lender, then to you say, okay, that's my savior. Meaning, if I can make it here, that's my top up. And so most of the money lenders, they always share the fact that they are holding on to bank cards, and these bank cards belong to some people that are earning salary, which you are not controlling your salary. Your salary are controlled by somebody else because of I could say because of the poor management of our lives, and which we can. And sometimes you begin to think, okay, how do I get out of this mess? My bills is just so overwhelming, and my bills with the money lender, I can't seem to get my card back. How do I get out of it? Well, first I will say again, if you believe in God like we do, then you pray about it. Because I believe if you do commit it to God, He will guide and help you on how to get out of it. We've had a few couples in the church that we go to that have stood up to testify about these things. And, they testified about their lives. It's from money lender to money lender. Like the cars, payday to payday. Yeah? Their cars are always with the money lenders. And I'll share particularly about this couple. It's a Tuivanga couple. And then they live now in Santa Rosa, America, on a green card. They used to stand up and testify about, and they were civil servants. One was a school teacher, and works for agriculture office. Sorry that Tuivangas are sharing a story today. And when they always stand up to testify, they said, before we came into this church, before we heard, the teaching that made us join this church, we were like living from payday to payday with both our cards with the money lender. And not only them, there were other couples as well, but I'm using them as an example. And they say when they came in, they struggled. They struggled. How can they give their tithe because their cards are still there? The bills, are overwhelming. But they didn't share the details. Just by hearing them sharing, they managed to get out of that. How they got out of it, I don't know. But according to them, it's by coming into church, giving their tithe, somehow it just worked. Like what I said, I didn't know the details, but they were just trying to live right. And the teaching like this, as we share with you from the Family Table Talk, the teaching of how to manage your finances, how to manage at home. Like what he was just sharing this morning. When you buy a fish, to us, it's like, okay, it can be 2 or 3 or 4 members of the family. That fish is going to the whole fish. But for other families, they cut. Like for us, I always share a lot about how we started. Like we buy, I buy potatoes, and because it's just the 2 of us, so it's just like 3 or 4 potatoes in one small plastic bag, wrapped up in a Glad wrap and label. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Milk Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I teach that in the church. So some of them, when they are going through all this and to control expenses, to reduce their current expenses, they go to this, which they did. So when they did that, somehow they managed to get their accounts back from the moneylenders. And not only that, they managed to buy a farm. And before they moved to America, they had they had a car, they had a twin cab. They had 3 properties. They had 15 acres of land. So that's what they had. From payday to payday, and from that card with moneylenders, that turnaround, something happened to that. And not only that, it didn't end there. And then they got through to this green card. They sold some, they gave some of their properties that they are in America now. And see, in one of the conferences that we went, I think just recent, in November, I believe, I can't remember which month we went. We were actually in Canada, and then we went across to America during Thanksgiving. I think that was in November or December. And in the process, in one of those, I don't know whether you heard it, but in one of those sessions when the husband stood up, or when SB Tuivanga stood up to share, that he mentioned to date now in America for both of them, and they've got 2 children. One is Navy, with the Navy, U.S. Navy, and one is a very good football player that's been covered in the papers. That when he mentioned that they managed to now save $8,000 a month. $8,000 a month, and that's US dollars. Why I'm sharing this, to indirectly tell you that if you take the time, don't just give up in the fence. No, I can't, man. My pay is not that much. I can't. No matter how little your pay is, you can do something about that. You can step back and say, you can relook at the same pay. It's not about the pay. It's not about the amount. It's the way that you manage it. The way that you manage it. Like, for this couple, when they came into the church, or when they started coming into the church, they were living out there in the outskirts in Itasiri. You know, coming in the bus, flagging the taxis down, or trucks, or whatever that comes by, or the RSL that comes from the highland to come to town. And in the process, they managed to get their driving license. They managed to get their car. And I'm not just telling you what you can do or how you can do it. I'm actually sharing with you on, like, it happened. It happened to a certain couple that took the decision and do something about it. Which, what we are sharing from this platform, if you know that you can, take some teachings on, and you can apply it in your life, you can project greater things for you to achieve, you will be able to achieve that. So it may not be overnight, it's a process, it's years, but at least you must start. And don't wait until next week, you must start now. So really look at your finances, really look at your pay and tell yourself, from this pay packet, how much can I save? From this pay packet, how much can I put on the side? From this money that I earn weekly, fortnightly, or monthly, how much money I can put on the side to save towards getting a car, or to save towards buying a farm. And there's a lot of things that you can achieve. So it depends entirely on you. That's what. And also the way that you eat. A lot of finances are spent on eating, especially for us. Eat okay. We love our food. Well, for me, like speaking for myself, I made a blunder last night. We were cooking for our missionary this week, and next week we're cooking for our missionary team. And yesterday, because I was so taken up in my work, I made the wrong assessment on the buying of lamb pieces to make curry. I wanted to go and do curry for the mission as well as for the family. So I made the wrong assessment on the amount of meat to be used. And last night I was telling my family, man, I made the wrong assessments, too meaty. And I know the people that actually had their curry last night, and some of them are sitting here, it's more meat than potato. And that's not me, because I, make sure it blends well and it goes well. But I made a blunder, and then it teach me. So whenever I do and I make a blunder and I see a lot of leftover, I teach my own self. I remind my own self, no, that's wrong. So I correct my thinking. That means it's not the 3 bags of meat or 3 small bags of meat. Now, with this amount that can make a pot, then I must reduce it to 1 or 2 bags. So I learn in the process. And that's what you do. If you know that you cook at home and there is a lot of leftover, then you yourself correct it. If this 1 whole chicken brings about that, then to feed the family can only be half the chicken. And if you cut it up when you buy from the supermarket, whenever you buy the chicken, go to the counter and you tell them, please, can you cut it into medium pieces? And as you pay, when you come out, then you should know. If you know half that chicken will fit. Then when you come home, before you put it in the freezer, you divide it, then you parcel it. Because you know, as you take out the half, that's good enough. Either you make the curry and add up the potatoes to make it more, or you make more vegetables in a chop suey or stir fry using the same meat. And that's how you save, because all those money that are coming in when you buy, you will not be fasting every day. You need to eat. You need to eat. It's how you plan what to eat and how economically, you're going to ration the food you have. Maybe you say to us today, hey, I can afford my food. I can buy lots of food. Yes, we know you can. But what if you do these things and you save some of those extra money towards something else? What if, you try and do these things and then you can buy something that it takes a while to buy, but you can achieve it much faster and much quicker. So for us, like to say, for the last Sunday, when we did our cooking, we take out the fish, and just by taking out the fish, we have fish. We have fish at home. Like when I say we have fish, we have lots of fish. When we take out, even though there's lots of fish, I take out the fish, I'll calculate. I'll count the members of my family, and I'll figure out that this fish can be cut into 3, or cut into 2, or cut into 4. So whatever fish that I put out, it will be exactly this age for the family, or for every individual. If only him and my my son-in-law and my daughter-in-law, because they love their fish, if only him and my 2 daughter and brother-in-law, son-in-law, they eat fish, then it becomes only that fish, and between the 3 of them. While the rest, they have their belly tuna, they love their tuna, while they have their belly with fish and meaty. So all those thinking, even though you are living in abundance, you still, it becomes a discipline. It becomes the discipline of living every day. Because that indisciplined life, the daily living, it chews and it, it just chews all the money you have. It sucked out every finances that you have because of that discipline. So when there is left over, like for us at home, when there is left over, it's either I pack them up and I call one of the drivers to either distribute it to all the police posts or take it to the homeless. The leftover food, I don't put it in the fridge. I only put it in the fridge if he says, okay, I would like that. Or I'll put the cassava or the leftover kumala in the fridge, knowing that I can cut them up into pieces, fries pieces, and fry them up in the morning and fry the egg, and that helps another meal. So how you manage, because I want, we are spending a lot of time talking about the food, because for us, it's okay, that's where all of our money are going. It's into the food. Because the electricity bills and all, it's one of those things that you use, and maybe you are doing it well. If you do your saving from there, it can be a saving of $10, $20. But for the food, when you really have a discipline in your, in how you manage your food, it's amazing the money that you can save. And before you go buying again, look through your pantry whether you should buy. For us, we have this magnet note on the fridge. So as a man, we have somebody that is roasted in the kitchen all the time. So it becomes the duty of that boy or that child that in the process, if I say, okay, can fill up the sugar containers, and if they fill it up, and they say, oh, that's not, that's our last bit of sugar. So they know the deal. If it's empty in the pantry, they write it on that list that is stick on the refrigerator. So whenever we go out to go and buy, like after today, then we will go and buy. I've been planning it for the whole week. I didn't manage to do it any time after work, which I will be doing it after this. So when we go out, we actually take out that page from the fridge, and when we reach the supermarket and somebody go and do that, somebody will do that, we work according to the list. So when you go and do your shopping, don't just keep on buying the things you usually buy, but check your pantry. If you still have some of those things that can still go for a while, then don't buy them, because you know it will last.
Yeah, it goes back to the lifestyle that we live in.
Yeah.
It's very important for us to, if we want to change for tomorrow, then we must change what we used to be.
Yeah.
Because we cannot plan for tomorrow and we continue to live the life that we used to live.
Yeah, exactly.
As we shared, for us it's okay. It said that we're receiving the same money as any other race. But when it comes to achievement and comes to planning, we lack the ability because of our lifestyle. And because of the lifestyle of communal living, going with the flow, going with the crowd, we look forward to please other people, or we want to attend that function because everybody going there. You're supposed to be there. No, because of that lifestyle, like we can't manage our own.
Yeah.
Because we are better off to be seen that we attending every function, every family occasion. I'm talking about extended family.
Yeah. But
I'm
yet
talking
you are
about
struggling, yeah?
and yet, because you want to put up a good face that you attending, that's where you go to Moneylenders and ask Dinao. I'm really happy that for us, for these 40 years, we never go to Moneylender. We never know about all this Moneylender thing. But we are receiving complaints, we are receiving information on church members and friends that they are stuck with Moneylender. And I believe it is the management from the beginning. When you are willing to come out from the norm, you come out from the norm. If we used to do this, every weekend we have a occasion songo. I have to keep some weekends for my family. I have to keep some weekend for my marriage, for my relationship. And all these things, when you cut down your social life, you are cutting down on expenses.
Yeah.
Social life is attached with expenses. Yeah. There is no social life that is free. No, you travel. That means you drive. You pay something to drink. You pay something to eat. You pay something to go and attend. So whenever you want to live that lifestyle, remember, it comes with a lot of finance that you have to use. That expense can be used for you and your family in years to come.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes when we finish with our 55, right? When we finish with our 55, FNPF will give you your money. And because you haven't started with your life, you use that FNPF again to start your life. Buy a car or buy a business or start a business. And then you go back to zero. And that's why a lot of people, when they finish 55 and they go into their 60, they're still working. Why? Because they have to pay for the maintenance. Because the maintenance does not retire.
The bills, eh?
We finish with our work in the government organization. We finish with a hefty pay packet. But the bills continue. Continue when you're 55, 60. And that's why our planning now.
It's very important.
It's very important. And the way, and planning, not only planning and looks good, but that planning need to be structured.
Yeah.
That planning need to be worked on. That means your planning, you need to change something here to meet the planning tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, there's a lot of things we can talk about when it comes to these finances and how to manage your life. A lot of things we can say, but we will try to work with you to try and make it happen. Like what we said, if you have been planning and it's been working in your life, fine, congratulations. But if you haven't, then maybe the things we're talking about today, can enlighten you or can help you to be able to guide you to achieve things or to plan your life well, or to manage your life just a little bit better than the current, that you're doing. So for those of you that are nearing your retirement age, maybe 10 years out or 15 years out, don't wait until retirement for you to plan. Plan it now on how you're going to be using your retirement. Or if you know that you are 2-3 years out, then plan it. We can be so definite to tell you when you don't plan and that money comes out, and it's in your hand, it's in your account. The way you spend it without any plan, that thousands of dollars, or no matter how big it is, it can vanish within a very short time. But if you have proper planning, then you'll know exactly what to do with it, to invest in a business, or to do something that continue to provide for you as you age. So those are the planning. And if you need counsel, look for advisors. There are available organizations that provide this kind of counsel on how to manage your finances, how to plan your money, where to invest. There are available organizations or places or personnel that can help you and guide you to be able to achieve the best. But don't just throw everything out, because the people around you, they benefit. your indecisive, your poor planning, and the poor management of your life, people around you, they benefit. Because you don't plan well and you don't manage it well, they take advantage of that. So they take advantage of your poor planning because you never plan. So they will come with their ideas. So you are actually financing other people's ideas and other people's life without looking into your own. And come the time when you realize and you say to yourself, what did I do to myself? What did I get for myself? Well, basically nothing. But you've helped somebody to buy their car. You've helped somebody to pay off their loan. You've helped somebody to build their house. You've helped somebody to pay for their farm. But when it comes to you, you didn't do anything for yourself. So that is why we would like to be that voice to remind you, if you are nearing your retirement age, then you need to get a book and start planning. Get a book and start planning and write it down. Like for us, by the time we reach our retirement, we basically paid for everything. That's a testimonial on its own on how that happened. But we are just so grateful on how it turned out to be. And most of the big bills or the big ticket items were paid off. And so when the FNPF money comes out, it's sort of like free. I'll speak about mine. I could have taken that and invested on the business. I could have taken that and invested on something, more, or buy a property and have it out on rent or Airbnb. There's a lot that I could have done with my business mind. There's a lot I could have done with it. But I have my children and my grandchildren. So I had planned what to do with that money. And I think 2 years out, because I've left, I have stopped working when I was 45. That was my last salary receiving when I was 45 years old. So a good 10 years without any FNPF, without anything, going back to my FNPF. So the only FNPF that I had was the years worked until when I'm 45. And that's the FNPF that I had. So 3 years into my 55, I asked for my balance. So I start planning. From the, that money that I see. And I was surprised because with that only 10 years out, I still have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 figures. I have 6 figures FNPF. And I was surprised because I lacked the ability to be able to contribute to my FNPF for the last 10 years before I retired. And yet I managed to get that. So with that FNPF, which I am really, really grateful to the company that I work for Air Pacific, now Fiji Airways, thank you. Because like for the airline, they pay an extra percentage to your FNPF as a normal staff. And not only that, for management, they pay something else on top of your normal deduction. So I believe that amount came to be because of the company that I was working in. And with that money coming out, 2 years out, I've already planned what goes to my children, what goes to my grandchildren, and what are things that I can help with. Like what I said, I can take that and invest into business and go on and move on. But because we are actually debt free and paid off a lot of things, so I thought it will be for me, my own thinking. It will be selfish for me to continuously getting things just for myself, even though my family will benefit. But I took that step back to, just to look across. And the only thing that I have written up with that was still pending then was the acres of farm that I wanted for my children and my grandchildren. So they have something that they can fall back on if something happened in the urban. They have some place there in the rural place that they can go and plant their own food. And if something happened, they plant their own food, they live free in their farm. And that was the thing that I was wanting. But God, because I'm a believer and I believe in God, He made that happen in a totally different way that I didn't need to spend any money on. So I'm sharing about mine. What we would like you to do, if you know you're coming closer to your retirement age, and remember what that billboard says, FNPF billboard says, that the bills don't retire. You will continuously need to pay for electricity bill or a water bill. But if you have your home in the farm and you have solar light, you have that water tank supplying for you, you have the land that you can plant your vegetables and breed your own cattle, then that's good for you because you don't need money to continue to maintain you. But if you're living in the urban area, then you need the kind of finances. And you ask yourself, what about the house? So these are the things that you start thinking of. 10 years out, if you don't own the house that you're staying in and you're paying rent, then you need to find a place that is yours. You need to buy your own house. Because by the time you reach your retirement age, then that money is no longer there to be paying your loan. You are staying in a house, so it's minus the salary, so minus the mortgage, minus the loan. And, little things that you can put on the side from your FNPF, maybe a small business, maybe a hawker's license, for a small canteen, or you buy your taxi and you just do the runs, just the runs you want to do to get you by for the day or get you by for the week. Little money that comes in just to be able to pay for the electricity and pay for the water. And, there's a lot of ways in doing it. Like what I said, I believe there are organizations out there that they are willing to guide and also counsel you on how to manage your finances or the finances to come when it comes to the FNPF or your retirement. And even now, with the current spend and the current lifestyle that you have, don't hesitate to ask for help. There are people out there, or even if you belong to a church, they will be willing to counsel you, or to some of the organizations that can guide you on how to manage your finances. But look for help. Don't continue to live the same wrong way of living for years without achieving anything. You must say to yourself, 2024, I must achieve something. 2024, if I don't have a car, I must have a car. 2024, I already have a car, I must get a farm. 2024, I must work towards getting a home for me and my family. 2024, I have to do something and I have to achieve something. 2020, there's a lot of migration of people, moving across abroad. So if you happen to be one of those, don't just go in and get lost with the rest of them, or get absorbed into the bright lights and the good living. No, stay focused on what you want to achieve. So when you go, make sure you still achieve what you have mapped out to achieve, and achieve it with your family. And if you want your family to join you, that's another element. Yeah. But if you're going to be financing and doing, building your house, paying off your loan, and coming back and enjoy it with your family, do that. Stay focused. So the brunt, I believe the crunch of the matter when it comes to finances is just you.
Yeah, I believe when you do well with your lifestyle, when you discipline, all these things, your food, your lifestyle, and also your finance will fall into places. When she was talking about the FNPF, I resigned 2005. That's another about 13 years. I supposed to retire in 2017. Yeah, 2017 I supposed to retire. I'll be 55 in 2017. But I left my work in 2005. Now, then I realized 2015 that I have an FNPF. And even we use our FNPF, one for education for our daughters and extension of our house, twice. The FNPF in 2017 was still there, was good. It was in good numbers. Yeah? And because of our lifestyle, we don't really need that FNPF, but it's there. No? So the family benefits from there. We don't live on that FNPF. It's becoming something that we invest into our children, into our grandchildren. So the lifestyle that we live, it determines how much that you can save. Because these are the discipline. Because when you set your goal, there are boundaries, there are perimeters that you must remain within. And most of us, we have what we call our New Year resolution. Most of the time, we follow the New Year resolution only for the first week or maybe on the first month.
2 months.
After that, we go across the borders. So the discipline life, this is the very important thing, because when it comes to social life, it involves discipline life. When you have money in the bank and you have a card, it goes again to your discipline life. How well you can discipline your life and you don't go over the perimeters or the guidelines for you to keep on track with what you plan. And we are talking about lifestyle, your social life, we are talking about your spending, and also we talk about your planning for years to come. And we are sitting here, the beginning of 2024. Yes. like this next year, 2025, are we going to achieve more than this? Because we believe, as a believer, we are created to extend, to multiply, to achieve. We supposed to be achiever wherever we are. We can tiko banakoro, can sa sintunga banakoro, katunga banakoro. Kung ititira do da kamaturo ng dagas, sa reduce may. Na balik ko rataramay ng dagas, can sa beritarando na balik. Arita. We are created to be achievers. Kaya bale, nabunuan sa may tama kinuro ng dagas, o kaya namin talabit, talagin doon na level. We must go to another level. Our parents took us this far. My parents took me this far. From Namukilaw to here. Her parents took her this far. From Waitabu and Wadiwadi to Lautoka. From Lautoka, we are sitting here. Now, what we are preparing as husband and wife to our children. We were talking about the achievement of our parents. Ura taratu na pala paliliw. Ura seta katungo. O kenda na itambo nadama kenda sa takamatigo, what we are doing for the next generation. Because I believe that we are created to achieve, we are created to explore, we are created to multiply. The things that they achieve, we must achieve much, much better than our parents. Kembali sa ando ng boleh-boleh lewe tubi kenda, ay matakan isip niday. Kako ni may floaty ko nga nakasarawat ng nagas, our parents. Don't just enjoy and experience what our parents already done for us. No. We're supposed to take it to another level. We're supposed to achieve what they don't achieve. And what they attain, we will attain now. Why? Because we are creatures that we go from level to level. From achieving to achieving. And we will pass on that attitude. Kuna attitude ya. Balik sa na attitude ya, then we will go down, nakarasarota, na may mga rusa, na manliliwarata, kanda bulitaka. Motokam na karabuli kanda, na may bulitaka. Balta na lifestyle that we live. It's a big challenge. And we are saying, from the family table talk, some of us, although most of mga liwibir na turubo, parang daw, lako lang gito. Hindi ko sa main gito, gito sa mga kaukoa, nanumati ko, you have a guideline to follow. You have a discipline to follow. Why? You need to achieve. You left your family, you left your country, you left your nation, and come and try to do well. So when you come out like this, make sure that you have a fruit to show to your children. Because if not, all the sacrifice will come down to zero. Sa may dagdag ay suba, weekend na may dagdag ay suba. Meraw sa raka. Sa may dagdag ay suba, so weekend sa those of you that are listening from overseas, New Zealand, Australia, don't just go there and enjoy what you're receiving now. No, you go there, build a house there, establish there, your children to achieve there. If other races can do it, we can do it too.
We can.
If they can do it in England, if the Zimbabwean and the Nigerian and the Ghanaians and those that come from other nations, they are achieving in Australia, they are achieving in the UK, they are achieving in the US, we can achieve too. It's just the way that we set our mind. Our mindset need to be right. Our attitude need to be positive.
I like that. Well, that's inspirational for you to motivate you to do something about it for this year. Like what we said, we're not perfect. We're sharing things, tips that can help you. If you take it on, you can be guided by those things. And and for those of you that are actually outside Fiji, when you go and you earn, like what you said, and that's one thing that we always try as much to encourage people or our church members as we do go and travel and visit with them. We always remind them, this is the place. This is your land of the living now. You're not going to be moving your family back to the village or moving your family back to Fiji. And if you're here to stay, then make it work. Start planning moving forward from what you have here. What is your strength? What's your capabilities? Source around. Ask for those information. So at least you are guided by it. Don't just give up with the thought or with the assumption that you cannot make it. But take it on and look for the correct information. Get the right factual information from organizations or from people or insurance company that can guide you. So you know fully well what can you do, what are you capable of achieving, and work towards that. And then that will also, like just what we said here in Fiji, that will also define the way you do or you live your life daily, monthly. Like we said, you know, the takeout out there outside Fiji Boy, it's, if you're not careful, you eat out every day. But I heard somebody say when I was telling them, you know, it's very cheap to eat out. Why don't you people cook? One of the ladies that I spoke with, and then she said, you know, sometimes depending on the size of your family, it's cheaper to eat out than to cook. Well, she said that. But if you go out, like what I say, if you know that that's the cheaper way, at the end of the day, it's the most economical. Not only the most economical, it becomes the most healthiest. And if you continue to take that, you know, that type of living, the living habits from here, and you take it with you on how you're always living out of everything, out of your necessity, oh, it's amazing, the, you know, the finances that you can save. And that is why I'll make reference again to the Tuivanga family. When, you know, she always share about on how they manage their food. They said, we only eat out only once in a week, in a week. We only eat out once. And my daughter, when I do my shopping or our shopping, they ration the meat just like they are in Fiji. Yeah. They ration it. And she has a job that lives in, not far from their place of residence. So whatever that they cook, they also, you know, find time to take that for them to have. So even though they are there in America, but they were living the same life they were living in Fiji.
Discipline like
yeah. And then now when I hear about the $8,000 in a month, then it varies from that because the little things that you can save. And there are ways and means that you can, you know, it's different profiling for each country on what you can do, what you cannot do. And try and know your shops, know your suppliers, know your, just know your surroundings, because you will know what is cheap there, you will know what I can there. Don't just go to one place and you buy all in one place. You people have the capability to go to you know, most economical and buy in bulk and step up and last you, so you don't continuously buy. There are ways and means that you can do that. For Europe, I like going to the Iceland. Like the Iceland, the meat in there is very cheap. Like you can have 7 pounds for 2 chicken, you know. And then you have the Poundland, because I know, I mean, if people have the money, you don't even go to Poundland. But Poundland has got some things that you can save your money. I mean, if you go to Tesco, you will spend about £3 or £4. Those items, some of those items, they're in the Poundland. You know, so even they even have the 97 pence shop, 97 cents. And like for America, you have you know, Dollar Tree shop, and then they have the 99ers. Some of the 99ers, they even have the plates, they have the pots, they have the garden tools, the range of things that are there. And the Dollar Tree. So you look around and see the most economical way of achieving the same thing. Like if I go to a house and I see the utensils or I see the pot, I would be asking, where did you buy your pot from? You know, how much was it? I mean, the pot is supposed to be in the kitchen and those utensils are supposed to be there. So indirectly speaking, it doesn't matter where you get it from. What matters is what it does. So and sometimes, like certain things can be branded, like your clothing and like you want to stick to the brand. But when it comes to the daily living, things that you can bring home, there are economical ways for you to achieve the same. And some of your thrifty places, oh, it's amazing the little things you have. And like for America, you have the Ross, Dress for Less, and you have Burlington. And if you go to these places, they have comforters, they have bed lamps, they have lounges, like for you to even furnish your house in a very economical price, very low, you go in there. And maybe some people just minus themselves out from there. Like, you know, they don't go to those kind of places because of the substantial amount of money that you get. And it warrants the fact that you go to the mall, you go, you know, to certain places. But you can save some of those dollars by going to these small places. And then they provide as much. So last week, straight after the family table talk, as we came down the stairs, we met up with this couple, the Ballet family. They came all the way from San Francisco. We have, and then it's amazing because they brought with them Auntie Frances, the lady, actually living in her work, looking after John Shapiro. And John, they actually came to Fiji last year for a visit. And then John wants to come to Fiji to celebrate his 50th birthday, I believe, his birthday. And she was sharing with me, you know, Auntie Rai, the last time we came, it was 7 days. This time it's 9 days. And you're talking about a trip that is financed, you know, all paid for. The fares are paid for, accommodation paid for, because of, I mean, that's job. And her job to look after John.
John brought them to Fiji.
And then John
brought them to Fiji.
Brought them to Fiji. And yeah, you know, it's just amazing. So when we were posting last Saturday, and I know Auntie Francis were back all the way there in San Francisco, and Bulla John, and thank you, Talanga Simi. So as we were talking down there, you know, I look at John and I said, John, you know, you enjoy Fiji? Yeah, very much. And he loves Fiji, you know, Fiji t-shirts. And even when we come there for our event, in our church uniform. And he was so excited, but no, so much humid and so hot. But yet they come from a very cold. But, you know, John was so happy. And I was looking at Auntie Francis, and Auntie Francis, you know, to think, like he's 50, he doesn't even look it. And the blessing in you not paying anything, it's like you're being paid to come and see your family. And Auntie Francis has got children and grandchildren here in Fiji. And imagine that. You know? I mean, her job brought her here fully paid for everything paid for. Well, like I'll take us on the other side. Like we say, you know, we are Christians. We believe in God. Like sometimes, if you look at the same thing in your hand and you say, okay, this will not work. I cannot, like for Auntie Francis, man, I cannot, you know, look money to, or the day, leave days to go and visit my family. And you pray about it. Yeah. And it's just amazing how God works, you know, to be able to bring that to pass. And then she said, last trip for 7 days, this trip 9 days. And I said, okay, you pray for John to keep on living. And the next time is going to be 2 weeks paid for. And the amazing thing that only God can do, which we would like to bring as much as possible. We belong to a church. So we try to make this table talk, no neutral, no God speaking. But, you know, most of the time, you will still need the supernatural power to be able to overcome the little you have, to bring about blessing when there is lack, to bring about wisdom when you don't know how to manage your life. And there's no other way to explain it on how you can get these things to your life other than telling you you need to serve God well to be able to bring that to pass. So we were really, really blessed last Saturday, you know, just to catch up with a couple coming all the way from America. And they actually just flew up to Suva on the flight and then flying back. I mean, they were flying here to meet with all other graduates in Suva and their family in Suva before they went back. And by Tuesday night, they were flying all the way back to San Francisco, and I believe they're tuning in from their live-in work this morning. So, you know, those things. Like you plan your life, when you're out there abroad, the same saving that you can make, you put the saving out. The amount of money that you're saving, that you're you know, getting as a salary in Fiji is much, much lesser than what you're getting there. But on the other hand, maybe the cost of living is high. So no, it can be high, but it meets the cost of living. Say for Australia and New Zealand, you pay your rent weekly, not monthly. So your cost of living go up. We can be earning about $500 here, and we pay a rent of $180 or you know, $300 a month. So whatever salary you're getting, you can still manage. And sometimes we say, okay, when we go abroad, we're going to be getting a lot of money. Yeah, you may be getting a lot of money, but we are always oblivious to the fact that it comes with the expenses as well. So it's just not money you're looking at that you're going to get. It's the expenses that comes with it. Which means if it's monthly rent here in Fiji, weekly rent out there in Australia and New Zealand. And that is why sometimes when you go, say when you go through the seasonal workers or the NAC program, then it's good for you to stay within those programs as you start. Go with it. You know, just flow with it. Because they are providing accommodation, they are providing meals, which means your money is freed up for certain things that you can do back for your home here, your family, or you can save. Because once you leave that program, then it becomes either you staying with relatives and friends, or you need to finance your own. And financing your own for Australia and New Zealand, it's weekly rent. So money that you're making, even though, say, if you go there for a NAC and you're getting about $300 a week or $500 a week, and then you're being offered a job of about $700 a week or $800 a week. And you say to yourself, boy, that's more money than this. Look, don't rush. That $500 a week that you're getting, accommodation is provided, meals are provided, transportation provided. You're going to work, that $500, you have that money on your hand, free for you to use. And if you're attracted to this $800 or $700 or whatever amount it is, you need to remember that comes with paying your rent, paying all your bills, and finding your transportation to reach your workplace. So it either can be train or can be bus or whatever that you, but obviously you'll have to be paying something to get to work. So all this money, and all that money minus from the weekly increase that you thought is an increase, minus that, how much do you get at the end of that week? Compare to that amount that you have in with everything else provided. So a word of advice, if you know you have been there with NAC or seasonal workers and all these things are provided, don't rush to get out of that program. Stay within the program so you can go through your finances. Yeah, it can be attractive for them to say, hey, come, you don't need to go to the kawaga. Go set, live in a kene love. Vakasama takatali vakaru, so those are for you that have left Fiji as seasonal workers or NAC. Because if you have decided and have planned to send money back home to make it work, then you need to really seriously weigh the options well before you make those decisions. And for those of you that are living all over the world with your family, you've started off very young, and then now they have outgrown, they have their own jobs. We were having this conversation with a Tava couple. Talangas Tava and Auntie La, thank you for coming in and popping in. And we sat at the top, was, having ice cream and coffee, and before they went down, having this conversation, because their children are actually all working. And with the last one just graduated and working as well. And they were staying in this, 4-bedroom house. So as we spoke and, talking about families and about all these things, and then they came up, they were sharing now with everybody, with the whole lot of them, 3 children working, even though they have their rooms back at home. So we don't really see the need of having this 4-bedroom house because all of them are working and living in their own places. So we need to, we need to go down and restructure and review from that 4-bedroom. We just need a 1-bedroom because it's only us. And also we have a car. Now we go back to the small car because for that 4-bedroom house, it has quite a substantial amount. And then if you reduce to a small house, it's just enough for them. And I mean, obviously you will feel the impact in your finances because it's a reduce in rent. And to make a car or for the fuel, it takes down to the very economical one. And, like as you grow older or as you live your life, because you have created your life to facilitate all your children and everybody staying with you. But as they manage their life and they move on, then that big house sitting out there, it's for, yeah. So and I see that happens for a lot of retirees. When they retire, they actually move to their own cottage home, little homes, rather than the big home that they used to have before.
We're supposed to adjust to our way of living, as we come out of our youth, we explore the world. You will see when you're getting older and older, you come back to your origins. It's the same as life when you buy, extend into the world, because we are, as I said already, we are born to achieve, we are born to multiply. Yeah. But come a time, all those multiplication, those fruits of our hard work, we pass it on to the next generation. And we move on to a smaller cottage. Smaller, and the life that we spend more time, because there's another life waiting for us. So all this understanding and all this planning that we must keep in mind. Because if not, we will be caught somewhere. Yeah. And life will be meaningless. But if we plan well, we must plan this life, the planning of this life, engage in this life, how to pass on the baton to our children, how to bless them and make them ready to go to another level. It's all through planning. Yes. And when we plan, as I said, and then we live a life, discipline the plan. Not only for those in urbans, even for those in the village.
Yeah.
In the tuwi, doon na tuwi paliliw, doon ka sa mataka. Saan kasi may kuran na kasi. Ursawa, nandun na palilingar, lito ka kina. Kurto na ngoni, kurto sa tawa na paliliw. Madam, we have the strength to clean up, we have the strength to maintain and move on. O kina, or na kasi, or sa tos kindo na palilingar.
Yeah. I like the way that you make reference to that because I believe it's a good advice to us. Like we must know to hand over.
Yes.
We must know when to let go. Because sometimes because you work so hard to achieve it, like you don't want to easily let go of it instead of, okay, that was sweat and blood. I managed to buy that house. I'm not going to give it away just like that, Like as you age or as you grow and you look at your children, and sometimes you say, yeah, fair enough. You tell them, okay, you buy your own house. I bought that house with my own money. I managed to achieve all that, and you go and do your own. Well, and then if they do, fine, because it's part of their life, because you have done the same as well. But what about that house, the house that you were in? Who's going to be looking at it? I mean, you're not going to live forever. One day you will go. But that one day you will go. You need to make the decision now. Which day? Not the day you go to die, but the day you need to let go. And to be able to say to yourself, okay, I've lived my life, I've enjoyed this place. And
it's just like when we grow up, we know that we are no longer youth.
Yeah.
We live that life, we move on, adult. When we are adult, we must remember the time will come that we are retiring.
Yeah.
Then we must let go and move on.
Yeah.
And because of the change of pattern and lifestyle, we are creating that atmosphere and a platform for a new generation to take on and continue with the journey. And that's how we enjoy life. The pattern. And our next generation will enjoy because they are still in the prime that they are given the chance to lead and to make decision about their life. And sometimes we can be very too controlling. And we are really like we are taking everything to the grave. No.
sometimes you're not happy with the
way they will live.
Not only that, like sometimes because you have your own plans for your children. You marry this one, you marry that one, you marry that one, and then they come home with a totally different person. And because you're angry, they didn't follow what you say, then you say, okay, I'm not going to leave anything with you because you never follow what I say. I told you not to bring that girl, or I told you not to bring that boy, but yet they brought them home. And then just a thought for you to say, to think, boy, that person will come and own the very thing that I work hard for. Sometimes it's very hard to let go. And sometimes, like, you really want to make your money's worth. And sometimes, like, you get angry with your children because they don't follow what you want them to do. Or they bring home the very person that is the very least in your list for them to bring home. But always remember that the person that they bring home, either it's a girl that you don't want, or the young man that you don't want, that may not have the wealth that you anticipate for them, or the status, that human being or that young girl or young woman, they belong to a family that they loved much. And you'll be surprised. The very person that you have no regards for will be the very person that will come into your house and love you for who you are. And when you age, they will love you for who you are. And that's the only thing that matters. And it's for you to, like sometimes we love grandchildren, but we don't love their mother. And sometimes we love the grandchildren, but we don't like their father. And but we enjoy our grandchildren. So those are things that we live with, and it becomes daily. It becomes a way of life for us. They come to the family home, they will know their place. It's like, okay, I'm dropping off the children. I'll go and I'll come back and pick you, which means I cannot fit in there. And because they can feel it, so it becomes that. You only enjoy your own child and your grandchildren, but you don't, embrace or accept the people that have those grandchildren for you to have grandchildren and have time for them. So if you have those issues, or if you live your life always like that, but maybe this year it's about time that you find something in your heart to like them, find something in your heart to love them. And let go. So as you age, you go. I'm going to be 58 this year on the 4th of May, which I'm looking forward to. And he's going to be 62 this year. 4 years apart. He's going to be 62 on the 28th of May, and while I turn 58 on the 4th of May. Like for me, my cutoff when I turned 50, from 50 now to this year, I'm working towards transferring everything that I have to my children and my grandson. That fills in and takes up the portion of my family. Because I'm, giving them certain things to be responsible for. I'm not waiting the day I die and for them to be fretting on what happened, what did Nana leave behind. These things used to be, where does it go? I don't want them to be asking those questions. So as I do some of the devotions time, as we have devotion, I brief them to say this, that, and that, and this is exactly why I'm leaving it with you, because you will have that mind and that heart to look after all your other siblings. So maybe, it's hard to be talking about certain things like that, but try, at least you try. If it's hard to talk about it in the open, then have that private conversation with part of it. And for this year, try to love the people around you. Love your family, hug them. I'm sorry for all the feelings that I used to have towards you. I never used to like you. Say it out and start the year well. And start the year, because you'll never know what this year will bring. You'll never know whether you'll make it through past the year. I will not know whether I will be still here by January next year, 2025. There's no guarantee. I don't know. So all of us, we don't know our future. We don't know what's going to happen to us. But you know of your present, you know of your current. And as you do, then do something about it. And just try to have a good heart. Try to release people that you have hated for nothing. And try and embrace people that you have around. And spend more quality time to the very people who love you for who you are. So it's your children, your grandchildren. And live life in a positive way. No matter how negative it is, and you're overwhelmed with bills, just put your head up today, rise up and say, okay, for a moment I'll forget what I'll forget the mess I'm in. I will just try and live the moment. So live the moment for yourself, and because you have every right to enjoy your life. Well, on that note, we come to the end of the program today on the Family Table Talk, and we look forward to have you back with us next week another way. If you don't have anything going for tomorrow, you don't have a church to you don't belong to any denomination, tune in to any of the 3 broadcasters that have a program running on the television platform and also on the radio stations. For FBC, we have one of our program also going on the Radio Fiji 1, and also the other radio station. They will have some Christian programs going. And for us, I'm definitely on the My TV. We begin as early as 5 to 6, and then we have a 6 to 7 with the Reverend Elias Correa. We have 8 to 9 with our Power in the Word, and then 7 to 8 we have the Calvary Temple, and then it goes on until the evening or until the afternoon. So there's always a moment. It's like if you pop in whatever moment of the day, there's surely something out there that's talking to you. And try here for this year to get your spiritual enhancement. If you miss out the whole week, Sunday is the day for you, which is tomorrow. Look for something that will boost your spiritual life and help you with your walk in living God. Yeah, on that note, thank you so much.
A family is an epitome of God's love towards mankind. God designed us to live in families, and the Bible reveals that family relationships are important to Him.
But as a believer, do you feel that you're still struggling?
Maybe you're still struggling with your relationship,
Struggling with your finances?
struggling at work,
With your social life?
or with your spiritual life.
We invite you to join us
On our Table Talk every Saturday,
at 7:30 a.m. on My TV.
or get us on our Facebook page.
Lakumai, come. Wait, did they just hit? Dan Fiji Rua and Binaka. Yes!
Wala siya. Ako nakita ni Batu Raw. Asa may bultay na to yan, nampunin raw. Ang totalitay na nasa raw na may TV.
I'm on a remote island in Fiji. And the specialty on this island is coconut crab. It's huge and it looks like a giant mussel man. It's a local delicacy. Oh, that's a nugget. Today we're gonna see the whole process and we are going to try Fijian coconut crab.
This program is brought to you by Crest Chicken. Crest is best.
Homemade pasta and a nice cold Coke. That's my recipe.
Real magic.
For magic.
Domada Cinemas for best movie experience.